talk to you today about the importance of forgiving people. You know, Jesus talked about forgiveness a lot, and in Matthew 18, he tells us the parable of what we call the unforgiving servant. And you know the story, but just in case you don't, I'll summarize it for you really quick. There was a man who owed a king a ton of money. And the king called him in, and he was like, I can't pay it. I don't have it. And so the king forgave him this incredibly large sum of money. Then that very same man knew someone else owed him money. And it was a very much lesser degree. But he goes to him and he demands the money. Now, you would think that he would give compassion and mercy, but he doesn't. He actually has that person thrown into jail until he can pay it back. Well, when the king finds out what the man did, whom he had forgiven, he is very angry and he calls him back in. And he says, I forgave you all of that debt. This is Matthew 18:32. All of that debt because you begged me. Should you not also have compassion on your fellow servant, just as I had pity on you? And his master was angry, and he delivered him to the torturers until he could pay all that was due to him. So my heavenly Father, this is what Jesus says to the people, so my heavenly Father also will do to each of you from his heart so my heavenly Father also will do to you if each of you from his heart does not forgive his brother his trespasses. I just want to say, just as I read that from his heart, forgive from his heart. You know, it's easy to say we forgive people, but the Lord knows our heart, and he wants us to forgive people from our heart. And the reason why he wants us to forgive people, there's a couple of reasons, but one is because of this parable. What it shows is that we have been forgiven a huge debt. And you know, sometimes, honestly, if I'm having a hard time forgiving people, I actually just think about the things that the Lord has forgiven me for. And when I compare the things that the Lord has forgiven me for to the things that I need to forgive people for, they seem much less in comparison, just like this man's debt was much less in comparison to the first man's debt. But yet God has forgiven us. So how can we not forgive? That's one point. And then the second point that I want to make is that because the man did not forgive, he was delivered to the torturers. And a lot of people in the body, we have a hard time with tormenting thoughts or a tormenting spirit or something that's oppressing us. And I just want to encourage you, you know, this is what I do. If I feel like I'm being oppressed or my thoughts are being tormented, I go to the Lord and I say, Lord, is there someone that I need to forgive? Because, you know, sometimes we can say we forgive and we can deceive our own heart, but the Lord is not deceived, and the Lord knows that when we have held something against someone and we are holding on to that we are owed a justice. And the only way to, you know, just release that is to release that debt that we feel that was owed to us. And as we release other people, we ourselves are released. And so I want to encourage you today to just know, number one, that you are forgiven, that if you ask the Lord to forgive you, the word says that he is faithful and just to cleanse you, and that he will forgive you, and that as just as much as he will forgive you, he will also enable us to forgive those who have trespassed against us, and to remember that it is very, very important to forgive. God bless you today.
Yeah.